aluminum. But let's shift focus now to the commodities market. Manisha is here with us. Manisha, over to you. Which is the metal that you're tracking today?
Well, I'm looking at aluminum, and that is because in the near term, when you look at the last 1 week, 1 month, even 3 months for that matter, this one has been an outperformer. We have seen prices gain up by 5%. It's not too far away from its 2022 highs as we speak. And aluminum clearly from a surplus commodity seems to be getting into a deficit one, and that clearly would support commodity going forward. But let me tell you, we are trading at around $2,700 a ton, and most of the banks and brokerages are calling aluminum at $3,000 by the end of this year as an average. There are 3 or 4 factors that you need to keep an eye on. First one really is about tariffs. Remember, there is a global 50% US tariffs on aluminum imports, and much of that really comes in from Canada. So we are looking at Canada actually moving away from US to other markets. And if you look at the overall numbers, in the first quarter, the aluminum exports from Canada to US were at around 95%, which has declined to 78%, with an expectation that you could be looking at lower numbers as we move ahead in the year there. The second thing clearly has to be about China. Remember, nearly 60% of global production and much of that consumption as well now comes in from China. Interestingly, China has moved into this space very, very gradually. So when you look at these numbers, Chinese production in 2002 was just about 4 million ton. Fast forward to 2024, China now produces 43 million tons. So China basically knew where to get in, and we have seen Chinese investments in smelters outside China as well. So China clearly playing that big game there. Also, when you look at the Chinese exports, that were at a record high as well in last year at 6.7 million tons. China has interestingly put a production cap at around 45 million tons. The capacities are much higher, but with China now calling it cap at 45 is one of the factors that you have seen support come in for aluminum. The other has to be about Russia, one of the major players yet again in aluminum, and the metal produced after April 2024 cannot be delivered on London Metal Exchange, has been the sanction that has been put on Russia. Having said that, we do understand that a lot of metal is still coming out from Russia. But the second factor, the point that you should look at, is the LME inventories itself. Now, the markets take a lot of sense and sentiment from this one, and this is what we are working with. In 2021, aluminum stock was at 3 million tons, much higher, and we did not see the prices outperform. And then you come to 2024, the inventories fell to 1 million ton. This year has been interesting. We've seen inventories not just below 1 million tons, but constant decline as well. In the month of May, it was at 700,000 tons. Right now at 375,000 tons. Markets are taking a lot of cue from that. Is the reason there are very less sellers into this and buyers aplenty. Now, when you talk about the new aluminum smelters as well, and this is a report coming in from Indonesia, that you could be looking at 7 million tons of capacity by 2030. But remember, aluminum is a very power-hungry as a metal, and with power being fought between AIs and energy transitions and various other sectors as well, captive energy is something that Indonesia perhaps will not be able to work out with, and that is the reason markets are slightly sarcastic. So this is an area that could continue to be bullish going forward.
Manisha, thank you very much for that. So those are commodity cues coming through.